game a call so between West Ham and Chelsea. Yen him say no Chelsea kwa we could win 5-1. I believe a good result said the match Chelsea and na who be here say Chelsea.Barca win this game we no me winning ye most especially say Chelsea first game omutina fi against Crystal Palace. Nyoman ko yan fama Chelsea bobuko no. So going into their second game na who be here say Chelsea bit menya sa victory way. Net me asa the confidence and believe na sa babo buku ni mu biem. Ken, ye bo game ni wie ye no. Me share a lot of commentaries, a lot of comments. Yes, West Ham team ni na enya ade na Chelsea akotwa form so. Ana West Ham mpokura Sunderland na shane 3, Chelsea shane 5 a nye news. Enti Chelsea and shada nye bibia. I was like, wow. Say ye bo game wie. Now what na se now ye critical analysis ah. Team no win ye no. Ubehu effort ni adwuma po ye. 5 na Chelsea ko share ye no. Enye se West Ham team no that poor to the extent say Chelsea ko ya no ko share 5. Chelsea adwuma den ana omunya asa 5 no. Se Chelsea ko ye ana omo so kokko omo ho a. Chelsea ko ye ana oman kokonko den a nka sa 5 ne mba. So Chelsea awashe 5-1 against West Ham no. The first thing you need to know and to understand here say then na Chelsea ko ye ya otimi ko say sa 5 no. Most especially say Chelsea SR boy without almost star boy Cole Palmer. And to know be a how Chelsea ebetima performing without Cole Palmer. Betima ye nyoma yana and to be honest with you adiena me de mani hu ye no. Me jetu mu say West Ham bobo ni nyebo bobo omo performance no suru bebre. Ba adiena me hu wo Enzo Maresca ni Chelsea bobo ni ho no. Na mani age e de ama Chelsea team no. So what check Chelsea a Chelsea first game omo boy against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace about 5 back. Or city deep. Chelsea struggle say obebie Crystal Palace bobuku ni. Enra game no. That was the mentality and the approach of West Ham. Say about 5 back. Ye be city deep. Ye ma Chelsea spaces. But dey na Chelsea ye no. Ana omo ma team e friend say West Ham. E look bad. Say omo will leave a lot of spaces. Chelsea nyoma miensa ane ko ye de ma Chelsea. The first thing I mean who ye e Chelsea bobuku ni no say Chelsea build up omu faces ni nyina no omu nya numerical advantage. Enra Chelsea use 3 faces in omu build up. Chelsea first phase of omu build up omu chase from echiro. So the first phase of Chelsea build up omu build up. Omu back 4 no omu boy no ebe than 3 back. 3 back no play obe leave sa 4 back no ya branch friend say Malo Gusto. So anytime be a Chelsea be check omu first phase of omu build up na se no Malo Gusto efre echiro ho. Na occupy the right wing go. Na ekoka Chaloba. Tosin Adarabi you ana Kukureya. So sa 3 players no ana be the first phase of omu build up na se. No man invite Caicedo say on be join the first phase no so. So anytime be a Chelsea be check omu first phase build up na se no Chaloba operate as a right center back. Kukureya operate as a left center back. Na Tosin Adarabi you so operate as a sweeper. Na o man invite Caicedo say obey the first ball receiver. So Chelsea first phase of omo build up no omo ye 4 players. Sa 4 players no for say West Ham 3 forwards ne say owo so omo close omo. And West Ham 3 forwards no aye Pakita, Fulkrug and Abrante friend say Bowen. So we check Chelsea for a first phase of omo build up. Chelsea e wo Caicedo, owo Kukureya mpacho kuwechi. Chelsea wo Caicedo, owo Kukureya, owo Tosin Adarabi owo Chaloba. Aye 4 players against West Ham 3. West Ham 3 near Pakita, Fulkrug and Abrante friend say Bowen. So the first thing I be know to see what Chelsea build up near say, omo first phase, omo numbers, 4 versus 3. So the first phase of Chelsea build up in game no, Chelsea enya sa numerical superiority no. That's the first phase. So better case adi and say Chelsea build up from omo Chelsea numbers. The second phase of Chelsea build up no mfimfin ho. And now say Malo Gusto occupy the right wing area ho no. Emma Estivao move by inside ebe operate as a right midfielder. So anytime be a Chelsea be chance say some be build up biano Estivao embo as a typical right winger bo operate as a right midfielder. So Estivao become midfielders no ho. And now say Kukureya operate as a left center back no. Enzo Fernandez join the attack ni operate as a left midfielder. then Caicedo sa ho. So anytime be a Chelsea bedroom fin ho in their second build-up phase biano, Chelsea were Caicedo or Estevao or Joao Pedro or Enzo Fernandez a 4 against the two pivots of West Ham. That's Susek and James Ward-Prowse. So in their second phase of a build-up, Chelsea saw our numbers than West Ham. So first phase our numbers than West Ham. In the second phase our numbers than West Ham. And Chelsea third phase, the final third. The final third, so Chelsea senior numbers. Chelsea attack here. And I'm saying Malo Gusto joining attack, Obedane a right winger on the right side. Pedro Neto on the left side. So Chelsea two wingers anytime you attack you Enzo Fernandez, and I'm seeing an opportunity to search forward, or joining attacking front, Then Estevao joining. Enra Chelsea idea Enzo Maresca ya manage one say Obo Dilap as the number 9. And Obo Abrante friend said Joao Pedro as the number 10. Rose ayedema sa two players near say Dilap ebema mo boss present. Na Dilap ase jina West Ham defender baako so. Na a creative space e de ama Estevao, Pedro Neto, and Joao Pedro. So anytime be a Chelsea be attack biano, Chelsea saw our numbers our the final third, or Malo Gusto, or Pedro Neto, or Joao Pedro, Enzo Fernandez, or Abrante friend said Dilap, and or Estevao. So anytime be a Chelsea be attack biano in their third phase or saw our numbers. And almost second goal no a clear example of the Chelsea a course no. So what I can second goal na ken. Second goal na Chelsea share no. And now say Dilap pretty omo boss presence na also pini West Ham for defender no. Anytime biano adwuma na Dilap ye ne nkofo hweye. Enra Dilap ojebo ni bia na o make sure say obe close down West Ham e center back baako. Eno na be create space. E dia ma Joao Pedro and Pedro Neto. So anytime you omunya that space to run into Enti Dilap edwuma oye pano enra Dilap and operate here as the offensive pivot. But against West Ham, mentimi enya saade because na obo Joao Pedro as the number 9. Na saade ni ntimi mba. Benra Dilap no man ebo as the number 9, omo boss present and at the same time you were pini West Ham for player baako. So it create a lot of spaces. Edema Abrante friend say Estevao, it create space Edema Joao Pedro, any Pedro Neto and the man Chelsea to me yes saade. So the first thing I mean notice will give him here say Chelsea are also 5 no. Chelsea in almost phases of play, almost you saw 3 phases ni no. Chelsea in your numerical superiority over West Ham. I have Chelsea bobuku. The second thing, a constant movement and rotation. Constant movement and rotation, yes say. Chelsea jebo na unse players ni movie around because opponent no mo kwa no opponent no ebe na adwen say onbe mark Chelsea out, onbe come man to man. By now say Chelsea a lot of rotation. Players will move from different angles, different zones, say oh mark or more break. And Chelsea a lot of spaces. And go to a time. Chelsea jibona. Caicedo na obo as a number 6, or drop be chira be operate as a center back. Na ama Joao Pedro na obo as a number 10, abejina number 6. And to see a case mark Joao Pedro na honorable number 10 na. I just also follow na ba deep. And it's a constant rotation and movement, and they create a lot of spaces. Edema Chelsea, not Chelsea, etiminya that spaces, etimide bond the corner, and it's a what you could say, 1,000 Adarabia you are. Enra as a center back. Now, on a lot of line breaking passes. So what you 1,000 Adarabia passes are not the corner anymore. And now spaces are not in between the lines of West Ham, not a what Chelsea bobukuno. And you talk of Estevao, and will be a boy Estevao Abaso. Estevao when you have spaces now going to me pretty. Onim say na Estevao enya 13 final entries. Say yemfa ball enko West Ham box ni onya 13. No single player or Chelsea setup ni ma otiminya final entries than Estevao. And Abrante no how will see it direct. How are ne ball no productivity no was ro oje ball na unse ode ball ne ba be bibi and gradually oswade by unhu football IQ na onim say with time Abrante ni betima pagya na so no wetimi grow to that level no so enra Chelsea, that constant rotation and movement, ebwa Chelsea. The 13, Chelsea take advantage over set pieces. Say Chelsea gradually, almost set pieces necessary. So what check Chelsea against Crystal Palace. Chelsea enya kone biana. Oma player baako ebejina first post and mostly Oyusu Kukureya. So player no baako to corner no. Or target first post a Kukureya jina hono. Na Kukureya afleke ball no edi ako inside. And sana Chelsea players ne be rane. Enti se wo check Chelsea first game against Crystal Palace, omo second game against West Ham, say the pattern of omo set pieces, most especially eba corner kicks na the same. Player ba kunjina first post. Na yem bobo and informal non-flaking na your players and running. And then Chelsea take advantage over that set pieces. And it's a what check your first game and your second game now. Clearly difference neso. Chelsea against Crystal Palace. Chelsea about 568 passes against Crystal Palace. On your 19 attempt to score. 3 penalty on target. 2 big chances. 1 shegu. And on your SG of 1.6. By Enra game at Chelsea boy, you know. On your 577 passes, emu 12 attempt to score, emu 7 on target, emu 7 say big chances, and on your SG of 2.74. And it's a what check Chelsea first game against Crystal Palace, second game against West Ham. Say clearly, Chelsea in their second game improve in terms of attack. And then they boy Chelsea no. Omunya numerical advantage omu trip build ups ni nyina no faces ni nyina no omunya numerical advantage constant rotation and movement and omu take advantage over set pieces no big gaps to Chelsea ye hope say the number continue go na Chelsea concede in many anje ho onim say pakita go no na SG no 0.01 na enye go e wo say Chelsea na 0.01 and minim say nkofo be blame Sanchez. By Sawachekia, Nipa no lose ball, no coach in Pokra can estivao. By Sawachekia, player Nank was so closely Pakita was Kaisedo, not Kaisedo, and was slow down. And the creative space, no goalkeeper no swan yadie. But you know, Chelsea team redeem on Betche 5-1. A good win for Chelsea team, no. Ope Chelsea are now doing the credit Eddie Amanda, men Kokasa West Ham team in Yadie. For credit, FMA Chelsea, and you'll be a bit to Marco West Ham fee. Aqua question 5. Chelsea acquire Sadiana. Now the Chelsea credit Eddie Amano. Enra wa Germany, Bayern Eshe 6, Leipzig and Shebi. Ken Bayern team no, Maccabi Bray say a team bakwa. In terms of yen attack, yen create yen shegus, omu one of the best. Omu a lot of quality our offensive third. A team omu attack here, or Hurricane, or Michael Olise, or Serge Gnabry, or Luis Diaz, or Kimeka, or better distribute balls in the diamomo. And it's a Bayern Jebo now attack here. Creativity from the left, from the right, central. Every single channel Bayern to me attack it. And it's a Ukoshia Bayana. Yen creating yen goals or the Bemau. So what check Bayana last season or say 154 goals in all competition. And you most likely say how a Bayana shall see no. Goals or say in the last season no. Obetima sa doubles our goals in the game. How o metimi ashase no and adia ba kwa meni je ni say Bayern ekipu clean sheet kinu nim say efiti 2022 anytime be alive the be shia Bayern be alive the eshe goals etia Bayern no game ni Bayern na ntimi ama live the kan she go by Bayern shia live the bia na from 2022 eba no say Bayern ebe renew so renew live the ke she go be no omo prevent Leipzig from scoring. So at least some certain level of improvement without the ball. Aba wo Bayern bo boku nim. By a ball game ni wie no. Hurricane obi ebo Hurricane abaso. The first game of Bundesliga wabot 3 goals. Keno nim say Hurricane okọ Bundesliga ne third season ye. Wabot 98 games. Wase 89 goals. Wamount 24 assists. Were involved in 113 goals and the Diama Bayern. Mejitum say Obo Bundesliga Bayern was through. So Bayern are the likely so be dominating no e was through. By kin minu mienu nim say. Enye Bundesliga na be ma Hurricane ashe goals. Hurricane ewo Premier League ye target Premier League ne say omo top teams, omo top defenders no. Na Hurricane ewo Premier League no na o she goals left and right. Enti enye league na Hurricane akọ na ebe ka say Hurricane nim go che. Onim go na nkasa she dada. Ye were different types of strikers. Ye will be oye poacher. You were target man, you were auxiliary, you were inside striker, you were different types of strikers. But Branton and friend say Hurricane no can we prove what they say time without number or you'll be a clinical finisher. And last season now or say 26 goals and then top scorer of Bundesliga no say any plan beba and you most likely say Obesaji goalkeeper beam or Germany or ko ni no 2 seasons ni no waji goalkeeper first game 3 goals say any plan beba Hurricane afema most likely say Hurricane be more than 30 goals e wo Bundesliga nim this season Bayern so ashase ye wo Germany Manchester beba so no ebi no Manchester City tenefie against Spurs tough game recently team baako a Manchester City shana or struggle pano Spurs bobuku no. Enti Spurs in the last 2 visitors wako Etihad nano. Manchester City ntimi nhye no. Spurs wini baako ana omakobo draw baako. Eno bi bia o ye Manchester City fan bia no ebe testify say nanse omusia Spurs a omubre. So ye game baako ebe very difficult for both sides. Most especially say 2 teams ni nyina first game e wo Premier League obi awini. Team e friend say Manchester City ni first game okwa away to Wolves e ko wini 4. Spurs etne fie e she Burnley 3-0. Enti obi ewra game ni motivation odi ewra game ni ne eso. Ken me share first Manchester City ne first game. Me say dem who changes bebre o Manchester City setup ni. Manchester City as usual ukoshia na yen deal with short passes. Pep Guardiola pe short passes on Pep boy bosim bebre. So sa de ne ensesa time bi opeso control game ni wo opposition third. Team or tie control game e wo opposition third no. E team or attack bebre. Se utina wo chire ho na wo defend deeper. On time control game wo opposition third. And anytime be a Manchester City per se onya numbers e wo position half na o create offensive overload edit your opponent and you beka se Man City e control game e wo position third se okrabo na or expect say 8 Nuri a will be operating on the left side no ebe join the attack ni bi Nico Gonzalez say in case say Rodrigo Cascante and me anya fit in timer Nico Gonzalez be boni 6 obegina so mu krabo na etimi allow ti yani rind say onko nanim kakra no nkoka duku ho onkoka Oscar Bob ho onkoka Bernardo Silva ho no nkoka Haaland ho anim ho enti ukoshia Manchester City bia na opade e kan say offensive numerical advantage enti o attack a open numbers wo position third na wetimi a create game no a control game no e wo position third and say chances ne ba unim say omo wo a fox in the box in the shape of Haaland ball ne beto no na a setting kwa o the ball ne beto atenim so Manchester City game plan no man sesa bebre but dia say so omo sa dia ka omo game ne ho ne say omo lose ball na how quickly omo timi sa be recover edge ball no enya dia ba akwa say Manchester City ewum and me sa share Spurs first game Spurs e ball Burnley quality no enduru Spurs so sa match no Spurs and the control game no mienu eni nipa dodo na omo hwe football na anim say Spurs okwa share Manchester City no on control possession no and say Manchester City but dia minimum about Spurs bobo ne Thomas Frank ne say omo be use a lot of width and crosses. The reason why your Spurs ebe use width and crosses no the player na say oye the go-to man Edema Spurs that's Ghana ni Abrantie Mohamed Kudus yamani freedom to operate enkane last season na player ni amani that freedom to operate freedom with purpose no na James Maddison ni ho enti player man that freedom to operate no Kudus so Kudus never je ball obe carry ball no dia content ten one across it and then near the betimi Manchester City ball buku no and so what check Man City team na who expand your team no now we hear crosses are team a friend says Spurs our Richarlison na obetime use on the height no a battle with Manchester City for defenders no and anytime bia na obemo mo constant pressure no omo nya comfortable with the ball so say Manchester City Spurs betime akwa konya good results are how Ombema Manchester City constant pressure. Ombe expand City bobo nim. Now why a lot of crosses inside the box. And me expect to say this midfield ebe ye key the space. Sir Thomas Frank ebo Palhinha. Bentancur ana sa ebe ma Kudus watono. Bentancur sa then Abrante friend say eye Palhinha. These are destroyers. Omo beje boy free nsem ombe distribute na Kudus a carry ball no. Enti wose Kudus enya players a ombeye workaholic work no sa combative work no fifi na Kudus etimi agibon no edi ball na seje for because a game a Man City enko dominate play enti wose player na obe carry ball obe create chances no o man nya a lot of defensive work enti wose midfielders no eye players a ombeye adwuma de ama Kudus eye game ba kwa wonim second the last 4 games are City and Spurs abo Etihad no amaye 21 goals. The last 4 games, between these two clubs, amaye 21 goals, 2 or more goals. Ebe PM was a game nim. Arsenal nilis. Arsenal first game, one dominated, bonya the best results.
Okay,
that's 3 points. Playing against Leeds, me expect Arsenal say obe dominate, obenya good results. And as usual, say Arsenal dominate here. Onim said Declan Rice bit ma konenim, Martinelli bit ma creating chances, Bukayo Saka be creating. Men disrespect Leeds bobukun by Leeds Echo Emirates no. Ebe extremely difficult for Leeds oba kwaje 3 match ban points. Game back so me expect you carry say obetime nya the first goal Eddie my team friend say Arsenal with the Premier League a win for Arsenal and Fulham and Manchester United. Manchester United will good record against Fulham away. The last time Manchester United they call Fulham fee equal Lusu game no was way back 2010 2009. From 2010 Urban Manchester United enko away enko Lusu or Fulham fee. Manchester first game Olusu ye by ball na Manchester United boy no and my Manchester United supporters ni GDA any ahun for say ombetimi akwako wini against Fulham. Enti the Manchester United de be hia na say ombetimi nya consistency in omu gameplay. No metimi improve no my clinical say Manchester si akan a onfa na ni nkoto Bruno nkwaso kunya ewo ho embuam wo ho amade Diallo free bench ebetima ba besisa game no so Manchester ebo sa game no the ball Arsenal na o improve ewo the final third Manchester ba kunya good results Levante and Barcelona Ken we a story be say Barcelona ko Levante bia ehu eye no kre the last 6 games at Barcelona ko Levante fie no Barca winning just 2 elusu 3 a draw 1 eye grounds ba kwa Barcelona kwa or struggle by believe Barcelona be winning that game we onima de bi Barca last season or share 174 goals with 19 different players the first game or share 3 different players dey na catch row e chere say eye go boku a nanim hofo ni nyina pe goals omo pe numbers Lami pe numbers Lewandowski be pe numbers Ferran Torres be pe numbers obi e pe numbers enti Barcelona na wo kwa we no ade a mehu ni ye say players no mo anim ho no enibre na omo di pe goals no and be boa Barcelona a win for Barcelona a win for Real Madrid team no and no Italian Serie A so a unim say for the past 6 seasons obi antimi win the league in different day so pressure will be on Napoli.
But that's say you better the last 6 seasons away Italy we Liga on team in defend Alderson Bremna be room kakrama
me that say Ken mama we say Shadrack happy birthday ona Kasama Dawood
yeah Shadrack mahu na yin be dia ma ayi mi wi am ba be na mu fa na yin to so mama Shadrack no ona Kasama Dr. Dawood yeah okay continue the to so mama
Ekuafo wa usu we di 2 years happy birthday
okay
Papa Shadrack
nti Shadrack ni okay ona Kasama Dr. Dawood yencha Dr. Dawood and anopai okay yanko
Sadik ba Ekuafo wa ne birthday Ken mama ntoaso football e revolve enkane sene ne yesi bo football sene ne yesi ti football ase every 10 years bia esesa na it is good that say we in century we obi a ope football we obi a dachi we ope pass ubeye coach every year and I say years go by emre no esesa na football e revolve no you would have to go alongside it and yes sir obekech senior near enkane ni yesi boy a ball defenders fa ball and fa hon purpose na say let's get more goals the obesha goals do one and fa so one so no e revolve senior enkane ni ehye team a coach bia pe 4-4-2 number 9 and number 10 ss number 9 no owa senior be ye bobo ni sim ten a de bia no oba peke a ball no e free throw and nei asesa me can ye studio say you see acquire your first social goals over the years coaches at Nancy are stopping opponents from scoring goals. It is a way a good coach. How do you get goals from other sources? Because any time will be an open play with the best goal. So coaches started finding solutions. Senior Danny Dyer sits them yet say technology finding solutions at the Mayeno. Sana football coaches finding solutions to problems. Sanity. Now, the last 10 years in here, Premiership clubs, La Liga, European top 5 clubs are investing more into set pieces coaches. Why do you maso? Because say open play goals no. Eya kitwe bi. So Sadia, let's find ways of scoring. Enkane na Stock City eye bi ba na atwetwe omo. Na Rory Delap. Enya throwing bia stock nyade, but throwing is there or the best show set pieces. Now, There has been so much talk about the Arsenal set pieces coach, Nicolas Jova. But the reality pay woman say, Mama Kasam Chamo. One say, you were set pieces. And you were corner kicks. Corner kicks, actually set pieces, I see. But yeah, you can't even boom. But the difference, the woman say, last year, and your Arsenal, Nesha goes to do our set pieces. One say, a Danko 4 teams, Arsenal, they the best team ever set pieces. That is not the truth. Arsenal are your best in corner kicks, not set pieces. Last year, their share set pieces goals power premiership. Now Crystal Palace, 15 set pieces goals, 10 of them now corner kicks. Arsenal has 13 set pieces goals. Now Arsenal then 11 of them and then corner kicks. In terms of corner kicks, I want to Arsenal Gina. Last year, Chelsea has 11 set pieces goals. Corners ya mako 6. Last year. Now a 6 corner kick goals from Chelsea. Afi ye biano Chelsea were 3. Now me can ye see assembly so I betray my dreams because 2 years ago Arsenal started say almost set pieces. One of my bet show Arsenal for traditions. Watch this. Maybe highlights and maybe they are talking about the Chelsea team. No idea. Ken, Quavana Chelsea for Afano as the set pieces coach. You know, Chelsea for £1 million now. Echo fan if you bring food or motor. Yet is the kind of tone. Now, and now Chelsea a winning club World Cup picture be trendy. Now, was a Mexican for check. Now, I'm for him on a fan of Quavano. Now, there is something unique in BSC or Club World Cup. Chelsea for your corner kicks are normally the 4 players. Plus, Maku 4. Eko good corner kick corner ho. Can't mean ye no. Now, for raising questions. Now does it make sense for Chelsea to do that? Say, now we crowd here numbers our boxing. So why would you want to place 4 players there? On the place Maku 4 and the Kugu corner kicks area. A Club World Cup no. Now, the reason I say Chelsea and long or born short passes, say obey overload or the corner area because on your overloader or your place 4 or your 1, 2, 3 passes, he's good to go. Kent's next one, he's good to go. So that was the whole idea. Into 4 players in year. Now, let me give you an example in the Club World Cup. Even against Benfica, it was Chelsea corner case or boning in Mama next one, Sana Netsi. You're premiership in Imuno against Crystal Palace. And the Chelsea for realizing say, 4 players on the book corner kicks, no. Say opponents, no winning so at the 4 players echo. Then Chelsea will use it. My child, she said this is a sign. My man, no against West Ham United. Now, you see what Chelsea does? On West Ham United, and so the same players, Marco saying the 4. Eddie be blockade Chelsea. Corner kicks, send a Chelsea for M1 shots. Na o hwe baby a package na wa o hwe television so na 10 no e ho na makukurela gina until you ask yourself say e da na makukurela de bia ball no na flick no baby o gina ni how after the Chelsea be ball corner kick no now Chelsea be ball na makukurela na gina essence now teams are preventing Chelsea from doing the short passes with 4 players. Makukurela no ebe move aba begina the first point. Now, enra nkomo na emesre enra mi hu ade bi about the Chelsea team. He ade Arsenal for year Chelsea for complain sa say Chelsea for susu ye bi. Mami go on na me nkyere wade. Na Ken wanka sa for verdict fabra. Liam Delap.
Ofa keeper na cha na usum no.
We dey wanka maybe some wanka say obi a kyere na bi.
We dey bia we Chelsea na obetima ka so ofa keeper na chi. Ofa na chi. Itwem. Because at this stage I saw more Marco Correa and Liam Delap. But he just never buy no. Referees no man o man hu bibia sa.
Honestly, say coaches ni yes smart and I was say VAR for ni extremely smart.
Because they say Arsenal my team sitting na obi a ni abre. Obi a be because
obi a target goalkeeper.
To keep an ni ahoden kakra bia.
Fouls. It is something now the teams are taking advantage of. So far, I think say it's been so good. Last game against Crystal Palace, Chelsea ball 11 corner kicks. Ni nyina na regimes about me say esi obi so. And at this time around 1.7. Well, football no sanity back in. Ni nyina mu no. Enra little observation kakra about the Chelsea team. Say no adia efe. Aya na me adma about this Chelsea team ne say. How Chelsea builds up, no? We all know the numbers before Chelsea build up 3-2-5, but every single game almost the same structure, no? How many times haven't we mentioned say Chelsea Marco Kurela onubom na okoka enim for and now Marco Kurela in the entire 90 minutes he was playing as the left center back. SSI. In though 3-2-5 no the personnel nipa no a ebema 3-2-5 na ye every single time it keeps on changing, and I think say it is good. I bet watch Chelsea because say no who map up strategy against Chelsea. You are mapping about against one individuals ben a map up again because you might think say Marco Kurela ebe overlap aba be can 5 players na gina Chelsea ni mo no the next game on can no gina center back wo, which is extremely good. But for we learn next vow on the Ken, you see, and your behind it me crazy via passes. Baby, I will learn next vow and run no because of Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto was operating more of a right winger. Chelsea Gutabola in possession. Malo Gusto operated as a right winger. Not just say extravao no. Ebe jina fin waka kra. Baby o jina no. Brony friend half space, right half space. Na ehono. Mostly, number 10 for no, I am the passing and the creative chance. Because I know someone in pass here, which me the creative chance easily. But extravao dear no, now one day in your pass, but so no offer ball, now or the ball pianwa or special talents. Well, let's see. There also be Manchester City in the Tottenham Hotspur game in home. Look. 21 games in the last 4 games. Say about 4 games it had between Tottenham and the City. Now 21 goals APM. A chance of goals between these two teams. ACDB City asha 9 on 1 it had. And Tottenham asha 12. Now just some Tottenham for the City so recently. Pep Guardiola teams are all struggle to beat. But we Liverpool are sending tenor. And yet Tottenham Hotspur. And the City boogie side. Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur. And then City about Tottenham bill. Now that is where the fear is. I've been monitoring the Tottenham Hotspur team because of the obvious Mohamed Kudus. Now Ken, last year, Ange Postecoglou team, you know, it wasn't that they were a bad team. Tottenham last season, no more ball pa. But Ange a too stubborn with the tactics to say, send me see ball me ball, high line na me ball means some that irrespective of the opponent. It's war Shenwa on Sasan. It wasn't as if say Ange Postecoglou not a bad coach. He wasn't a bad coach. Name the stubbornness to stick to one tactics was 10 or better not the same tactics. That was his problem. Into Thomas Frank ever fast him. One of those things are now I was on my catcher and say, look, Yendimu, send ya we see someone based on the games, you know. Yes, half am I against Bayern Munich. I watched the Tottenham Hotspur team. I'm like, Coach Nico BM against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich won 4. And who says a source? It's against Tottenham Hotspur. 4-3-3 now ball against Bayern. Also, San and Sano called 5 against Paris Saint-Germain. Let's say, what's the San and Sano team? You know, depending on the opponent, so or feel so on Timiwa or defend it. So feel so bet Timiwa no a big game no abo. Into or your coach on San and Sano based on the game. Into and possibility say, some fall line up no who 5 at the back. I will not be surprised. Say Tottenham above 5 at the back, meaning say a counter attack any set pieces and only be go ashe. One team people talk less about and say Tottenham was for 4 center backs, you know. Danso, Kevin Danso, Osunwa Pau, Van de Ven, Osunwa, Christian Romero, Eba Ebo Ofa, Bentancur Ofa, Matasa Ofa Palinya. These are tall guys. It is a or a defensive in his game, set pieces plays major role, which Manchester City struggle with. About set pieces, it is a problem. However, City strengths in passing games are short passes. City on Sasa and on Sasa against Wolverhampton Wanderers. City, among forces City share for but there are so many things now it was against Manchester City, but the result is what people normally talk about. No problem. But you see against Tottenham Hotspur, short passes, say City lose to pass back on Fifi. That is where the problem is. And normally Tottenham be City a City passing game and a Tottenham press or much ball at the free with him. And I'm expecting more goals. Goals na me expecting, but City will probably win against Tottenham Hotspur. Fulham name Manchester United game, okay? Me pese ye shade bi kakra. I was just calculating Manchester United under Ruben Amorim, the Premiership games awabo. 7 wins, 6 drawn games, 15 losses. We lose 15. Na se we lose 15 a soccer ball statistics. Because for a coach to say 28 Premier League games or 27 points. Sunderland cry a bepamo. But you see, the kind of GDA any space a Manchester United sporting directors no board Ediama Ruben Amorim he needs to pay them back. Because this statistics, any other team they will sack you. And then Graham Potter won't pen up amono statistics type way Biana Ruben Amorim that's to Manchester United. First game Obian cancelled because United played well. So the season starts against Fulham. Ball against Arsenal. We expect Manchester United to do same and even play well and get the results. Fulham for no Ken. Adie Baku almost strength in the second half. Se wumu se Marco Silva substitution na Rodrigo Muniz and as Harry Wilson and a free bench ba for no free bench baby on Beshegu. Fulham strength no ono bebo Joachim Anderson, Kevin Bassey, Ryan Sassanyo, Tete Kendi. Omunyina be defended very well. But in the second half, Rodrigo Munoz from last season play bien or washa goals keshe a China from the bench. 8 goals, 7 goals. Who you only free one? Harry Wilson. These are 2 players. A time will be able to bar on the cause problems at the match teams. It's a way Manchester United. Now analyze this Fulham team and say their strengths is their substitutions when they come up in the second half from Michel Gola. What it means to say make sure say you start a game no kill the game. That is the easiest part. Because someone can carry game no kun anymore. That is where they are dangerous because Adam Traore mu ebe free bench haba. I feel say Manchester United should make sure say you start a game no first half 2-0. Then you can relax and play your normal football. Levante, Barcelona. These are games with all due respect. Senka and you see a one analysis. But another Hansen Flick won 3-0. He was very angry. Catch a place they say you be first round or no. Either son or Madrid mu bebree. And also say results now when you know and your confidence obetinya kase leg no betinyaji. Because Barcelona say first half of the season it was so much BM gap ni mu kakra so that they can relax and concentrate on the Champions League. So every single game is important to the Barca coach. Now against low blocks teams and they a problem kakra. And now against Mallorca, coach ni Femi Lopez Efremuntem. No problem. I have always said, say, player behind the profile. So what about team? Not team near high line. And that's a mid block. Next space is our Femi Lopez a one day a space. Oh no, the strength a Mikatuo chaos game. Na born na about that's a strength. Name so opponents in the city deep. You don't need players who use space to play. You need players that uses intelligence. That is why I say, low block teams, the best player for Barcelona should be Dani Olmo. And then, or you're fully fit. Say Dani Olmo, you're fit. And now Pedri, you're fit. Meaning, say Barcelona can create more chances against team FN Levante. I have no problem because of these players being fit. And now no Madrid ball Osasuna. A pass ball 721. Yet they created just one chance.
Alonso ball.
Now passes no na do na go sideways because Osasuna so ko go ichire. Now fixtures ni favor coach ne pa because say what Osasuna wi obebo Real Oviedo. These are games that Madrid the year pre-season. But they need to learn and learn quick. Another team a besanso city block, low block no Real Oviedo. Madrid by then a break is hard defense because and now no mistakes are a see against Osasuna Ninyan. I am expecting Sadia no ensanso NCBU. That is the game we are going to watch. I am going to watch how Jabi Alonso ebe breaking because Real Oviedo with all due respect today. And now no crowd Villarreal bomb 2-0. I don't expect it to be a game. Maybe you say Madrid they question, but I'm going to look at how. And the Madrid be faso Ashago. My last one, let me fancy.
Okay.
Real Madrid Jesse na almost omon print say Franco engu echire no. E wase kire kakra. Sanka me na mabeto me Jesse. Sika na me dia Madrid. Inti me pese ye kire Franco go echire Madrid wo efa ho ben. Me go metua hu sika dia mo. But the club says that you cannot do that. Inti se ope Franco Mastantuano asemwa. Instead of rewriting Franco for you, we write Mastantuano. Supporters ne so say, but that is the club policy. Now, the reason is say, you see, over the years, Mibisa Madrid any Barcelona supporters cry na yebo General Franco. Hey, General Franco don't be boy Madrid. General Franco there. I or your unity na Madrid for winning trophies. Ya can't walk and nipa do na GD. See, and now against Osasuna, time Franco must stand to one bad game. So what say ya? Now supporters need him Franco, and penny for no cry. Catch up. They should not be shouting because Sardine Franco no. Almost someone bet because it reminds them of General Franco. Plus, if you don't know the just 1 minute about it, on send Spain for a monarch. Say be family for no mona a shokro swa ne drew maybe General Franco mu ebe tu omugu ye ebe take it over. So be take it over now. It's General Franco there or 1930 to 1975 on a was so. And no share so in fact that time no na Madrid for share Barcelona 11-1 no. That time no na General Franco insisted say Barcelona for they cannot use Catalan for language. Omuntumi use Catalan flag. It is that period no. Now Franco Gina Barcelona for no so pa. It is that time it was like any General Franco use Madrid any oppress Barcelona. Into people up to today feels say General Franco was against Barcelona. And he was in favor of Madrid. But Madrid corridors, Madrid history, no. When him say Madrid Ankasa, they fought for Republicans against General Franco. Omo presidents are now no only General Franco. Inti sa o come Madrid abakwa sampa so almost so feel say General Franco and wo win din ye because I want a time and umbeyi sa din royal ni free so makancho say Madrid near from Real Madrid because of Ken Alfonso they do almost when General Franco came they removed the royal and I say the Real Madrid need the free ho and me be form Madrid FC and after World War no almost ben rare. Into Madrid and Casano, they've also had their difficult times under General Franco. But who be one? Barca fans don't do any ask them to do any few say General Franco never boy Madrid. But in the history of Madrid period the pan on you winning no. It wasn't in the early 30s, it was in the 50s. But what I say into Madrid the almost a sardino. With all due respect, they respect the man, but because it reminds them of Siba. You can go and buy your jerseys, but please.
Must tend to know.
Ubet me akwa print Franco no abonten on the only problem be and say but Madrid's official story.
I am Madrid decision.
They will not tolerate
on Franco must tend to know. Okona so per Franco omo imprint Franco name because of General Franco years back no a history and Edelson at the Amamono and yes I name no kwame some other names as you see how quiet so Madrid I had your mom print side no our official store name on the big one Franco Genoa Franco Master Trainer say Biggie one bit me akwa Master Trainer we the ton John Krenye ye because they know what
Master
master why the women I don't know na mami misa way Biggie na to awon sem na mami Bayern front three no front three bi wo wiase a bro mo de no so na Luis Diaz na Michael Olise and Harry Kane omo de me nsa we no mami sa players no Bayern for no omo from three no wahwe ni
yes
obi de no bro no omo de no so ohwe Barca de no ohwe Madrid crowd so mo de BCC
I think
City Chelsea Arsenal
I'll go for Barcelona Paris Saint-Germain
PSG front three Kvaratskhelia Doué and Dembele
and Lewandowski Rafinha
Lamine and Harry Kane my part of for Mama Luis Diaz and Michael Olise
and honestly speaking anytime be am share Harry Kane say o she goes the ama Bayern Munich bia no o Manchester United fan I am sure say it takes you back to certain times I twem make certain times I twem because say e mre bi I twem a e bi anka Harry Kane by this time wouldn't be playing for Bayern Munich probably because of Kwana Manchester United fast word to die certain transfers obefa Van Persie de na free Arsenal de naba no ababa be sia kind de amano right strikers in the English Premier League going to big clubs like Manchester United was what has been in the past. As we speak, Harry Kane has been a big bank. Our Bundesliga nim. After Lewandowski left Bayern Munich, Tokyo Kakraba Bedaho, Bayern Munich made a mistake. Mistake no me and say no more for Sadio money. And then akwa Bayern Munich as a force number 9. And yet the Sadio money purchase na a mistake. But Adrena na touch no me to Sadio money no. No more few say at the point they will Liverpool thought about the force number 9 into betimi abono aba beboa omo but we heard the magnitude of the striker na o few honom na we here typical number 9 oh goals numbers so be gina sa position ne dia ma that was how come they had problems with Sadio Mane because goals na Lewandowski de man no ntimi mfamba so after he left omo decided someone repeat some mistake ni biom omo call for a typical number 9 oh, you're proven. No, the Nababa Beshes our position, no, and on Befa Harry Kane. And Minumi Nubadia to say Harry Kane, Koi and Kane, why exceed the expectations. Harry Kane, as we speak, about 64 matches in the Bundesliga, and the Yama Bayern Munich can watch 65 goals. Our Bundesliga anymore. Out of 64 games in the Bundesliga, he scored 65, more than 100% record. So striking average. And clearly, this is the kind of striker we are talking about. Harry Kane share 8 hat-tricks. English Premier League. Looking at the number of years he spent in the English Premier League, can call Bundesliga anymore. 8 hat-tricks. Just like he did in the English Premier League. And the Diama Bayern Munich. So for Harry Kane, there, honestly speaking, he's a striker who will prove beyond reasonable doubt. Sir Juman Luis Diaz, on the other hand, first game for Bayern Munich, league. A man for Baba Beshed the other Bayern Munich Bobo because you are a player. After no certain players, almost feel some more top. Normally, on Baba Besho Mutim, I'm on my edge, man, not on my yano. Who na ye Baba for lay on. Na this Kakasi Baba far by. To whom much is given, much is expected. It's almost say player no more born who can then buy, no bet me live up to expectations and until there was that kind of attention, a different kind of lens, and a number they call Luis Diaz. And fortunately for the player, one disappointed. We hit the ground running in the first game. Okay, 4 chances in the game. 4 chances no creative, emu 2 resulting in an assist. And my Munich Bobo. And we on one to share back at the car. And this is the kind of performance or they are buying and running. It's everybody that watch the game, every Bavarian, Bia Ababa Benyasa confidence in the player. Send the quality no one done with England, one done with Liverpool, name or the Abba Germany or the Baba Boaba Munich Bobokono. And then to another player will lease. Ken Akwadani Bona or Bono. He should be counted among one of the best players in Europe. Sajama Musiala ni hono moa. Yenimso na the creative spark de ma ba Munich Bobokono. He's out injured. Omuntimi nyane nyusino in games like this. Enti no mo be other players or mo be stand to the test. There comes Olis. And the other players e wa animu hono no. Enti on the day no mo talisman baako any hono no. You need other players or mo be speedy up the performance. Or mo be double the performance. And players like Olis were there. 2 goals with another assist. And so hono mo. Clearly this is the kind of players that Bayern Munich team nikita. And can almost channel and the pressure Ebeba coach and so because the performance he gave last season not bad. He won the league, but Bayern Munich still no. I do almost share every season and come a Champions League because they feel that per players almost spending some no. Almost blue team be also in the Bundesliga. It's the Bundesliga no more or less looks like their best right.
But which me share Leipzig 6
yes
in the first game they a big statement.
Big statement.
Now say omunya to Spurs, almost Spurs and 4.
Yeah.
But you won't Spurs in the PhD in the city.
That is
so far, yes, Spurs. Omo level now no issue.
Of course.
Also more Germany, but omo level now no issue.
It's supporters in Ankasade. Uche Bundesliga no more. Omo hu ne say wonya ahwe. They feel that per quality no omo tono. Omo standard be a Champions League.
And this boy, I think say one player will improve, year be improve.
Seriously.
Michael Olise. I say year be and the ball they be count.
Quality player by all standard. And he's always proving it to say they are working. And for Bayern Munich, they did extremely well. But coach, they make sure the standards now all set. Performance you last season anymore, or be keep up with that same standards. Ken, I know I'm a Chelsea game, no. Now Chelsea game now I'm share, you know. Adia Bako chere and they say there are certain players in footballer almost here time to get the best from those players. And say Chelsea boge mo biabo Kukureya ding. And Chelsea boge mo biabo Enzo Fernandez ding. And say Chelsea boge mo biabo Caicedo ding. But these 3 players are mabo mudine ken. And the Chelsea team ni si omo nine so no. In their first season, our Chelsea bobo kunemu. Me assure say nanka Chelsea supporters ndo do na nya akwanya na. Komo ma ye pamo sa players we if Chelsea bobo kunemu. It got to a point. Now man for me make Caicedo. Yeah, editing. Any jeans, any Chelsea jersey, any Timberland combat because almost you want to run our park and so. Just because say now Kwadana Bobo Amana so any Brighton and a Chelsea atam sika kese e di akwa fanaba. Enzo Fernandez the same thing. Now man for Bruno, a man for Sereno. Just because some feel the performance of be expected from a player, ya this kese aba found on to be famba. But as we speak, in 2025, he's been the go-to man for Chelsea. Semuya ding at the match Chelsea bobo na. Enzo Fernandez the stand up at the match Chelsea. João Pedro ma ba omo yomo there. That is very true. Numbers and bad since he joined Chelsea. But in 2025, if we January be Sammy, Enzo Fernandez was 7 goals and 9 assists. At the match Chelsea bobo no. Ti Semuya ding ono na stand up the match Chelsea. Normal good performance at the moment. Kukureya, the least said about him the better. But these were players almost first seasons. Now supporters need to come and say Yampamo. But when they adapted, and now on a Chelsea team needs to organize. In the other clubs need that time, Kaka.
I think Bruno's operation, Ebuano. Who's the time of a report? Or because say now but through pain. It will be a normal injury, telling the dinner. A man about matches, no. You cry because the Massa Bona and I went to me mobile. But it's okay, yes, operation Ebano.
Oh, really completely.
System, and say Afano.
What? Even Enna, he didn't play the best of football. But Obeme sure says, "Well, more bowling poor." I
think says our instinct na e wo Bellingham no. As one way zone and saying, "Ura boss no bia the naka ball no."
Okopego.
And ura boss no bia because opposition we pa.
Yes.
Ball no be do no hono no bia nyina nchen.
Debi.
And Sadia no, the last time I meet you, don't say a technical, and so I can't win home because move your timer defenders be home, and what timer move your defenders and anything. Into 10 be almost slow, almost through almost runs no or say or call as or 90 the time I born be no be na we out but once obi wa no odi kan kujina born ba na we di kan e ba sa defenders defenders ni be ho and say Enzo Fernandez say dey
na order ni do too much for the Chelsea club on William Estevayo I am happy not because of Estevayo but I'm happy because of Chelsea me ka se mani age because of Chelsea say last season say Chelsea bobola na ye soko pa mamu a e be dey to obenya other channels of Chelsea or muketi channels
asem no coach ni ngentumo kra o one thing asem no kan no o se sa asem no dey one person obeti kra e no kra se ko pa ma your best player but last season na ko pa ma ntime they still qualify
sure
our Champions League
of course
into one instances Chelsea abo without ko pa ma omo aboyi omo abobo na aboni nti enrade no e ka ho nti no obi say yen central for no say a Cole's team or refer to Cole Palmer but enye sanity omabo games ni be without Cole Palmer team na perform enforce Cole Palmer na best player it on pesa sa tag no mo be say na team no because who is all year adwuma
sure
ebi na Edelson be highlight CCA about set pieces kwa Chelsea first we on build up on this ni nyina oye coach a ode sa niam na ba games ni bebrebe ba bi oyusu kukurea ene adwuma ode kukurea e wo game bia na adwuma ode na yede na ye yini nyina dia film ye dia kwahye one player say no na one player won say e be ye oya enti coach na ha no pa enti mesra mo munja asasam ne ka Enzo Maresca
because no matter coach adwuma oye coach na nkasa wo hia the players to succeed wo coach no ummo 9 ummo 5 ummo 2 enti mrantie na be gina park ne so na na be ye adwuma ne dia ma na wo coach at the end of the day waje wo fans and aside team bia won star player o team bia won star player ni key player ni go to man when there are problems with team ni mu and won team catch Chelsea there na bra obi moko Palmer din so the coach should also understand and admit that but back to the point say you so Cole Palmer mu na Chelsea bre and that is a fact but even with Cole Palmer on the sidelines Cole Palmer on the bench onya available mpono there is William Estevayo will be creating chances in the Chelsea Boboko no. It's who a Chelsea supporter. When you just say you are getting other creative channels in the Chelsea team. Now enkonko yes a Chelsea bo game. Now for you so play about Kumwa. Chelsea benya problems there be. And that is why I'm happy for the Chelsea team. They give a 5-star performance. Kudos to Chelsea. They only have to continue like this to get the best from everything. Ken Atletico Madrid Diego Simeone man nkotete Madrid ne Barcelona echi na onfa ma poor performances na de bi onfa ne honni debi yenim say Real Madrid so per the investment that Real Madrid boboku ne ye and the level and status of Real Madrid yenim say Barcelona boboku ne so looking at their status any Barcelona investment that and the kind of quality players they have that is very true but I'm one person me with different kind of love and the coach friend said Diego Simeone because the kind of duopoly and course with Spain and your Madrid Nigeria and your Barcelona Nigeria. This is a man of breaking duopoly no between these two. But he have gotten to that point. The kind of performance of Real Atletico Madrid at times, we don't talk because of maybe away in the past. And the kind of teams on your more compete. But can I feel say Atletico Madrid as a club is doing enough for Coach Efeni said Diego Simeone to be giving them the best of performances. Clubs to start Atletico Madrid they can ebianko to play and 50 million. Wa bros wa koneche ebianka 60. But this is a club with 100 million plus. And the man said Jennifer to play about augment squad. But yet when these players come, the kind of performance are coaching the man. And knew the standard I'll be expecting some of the bema. The first game in the league, Okobo Espanyol no Okobo no. Atletico Madrid led the game from the 37th minute. A boy out to the 70th minute, normally do 1-0. Espanyol made 2 changes. Not 2 changes. I'm Atletico Madrid losing game 2-1. This is not that Atletico Madrid we know. If you are getting the opportunity to about Elche, it will fear. Making sure so about rewriting the wrongs in your first match. Unless Bayern and Nihonum. Ultimately see a kind be. But at least Julian Alvarez last season he scored 17 goals in the Spanish La Liga. Alexander Solot. I know a bench warmer. But anytime he came into game for Atletico Madrid, proving the worth, he scored 20 goals from the bench.
and the man Atletico Madrid boku na attack which should be able to dismantle Elche team na yedi home komono. They are going to come into the game with confidence because Ken almost first game against Real Betis at least Otimi ball draw. It's from the building upon that kind of performance. Not the Ababa be Atletico Madrid boku no. But minima the Conte was a Diego Simeone tenase. Na a team like Elche the last 5 meetings between the two, Atletico Madrid are winning 4 in their last 5 meetings. Last season in the Copa del Rey, she had 4-0. Their last 57 meetings, Elche winning 12 pay. Into way in your side after our first game against Espanyol, and we are game over to the not such a side. What draw and after we lose against that side. Atletico Madrid has to win this game and win well. I'm expecting possibly a 2-0 win between the two sides because Atletico Madrid in the last 5 matches for La Liga will fear a move 2+ goals.
Okay.
It's at least 2 goals there. And also Timina no carry the day. Kakebi on Arsenal. Mikel Arteta and Emranti and careful. It is not about the performance against Manchester United derby. We only listen to Kwakobo. But Obia or share Leeds United near Everton game ni Bibiano. Everton knew the standard of Arsenal. That is very true. But the kind of performance at Leeds United dined, you know, a performance I was so. Arsenal pursue on your points, on your win, a game way more. On fan attention and flanks and so. There are 2 men on the flanks. Nonto and a Daniel James. Very pacey wingers.
Daniel James or so Daniel James. Minimum so but yeah, Daniel James.
The game against Everton ball or boy.
Because I'm crying almost see so England and a new one Daniel James no come about Manchester United and
only Nonto.
But United so must say players power na Mamen Kasa. Sir.
Because go for Baho Amfapa.
Grofa Baho. Di Maria Kraba Amfa Di Maria. Angel Di Maria. Now when you Di Maria Amfa, I just say Adiana Yana. Daniel James, oh great.
Yes. And one player behind the striker Tanaka. These 3 men are dangerous. Arsenal inform attention comes on making sure some stop you.
And then one can the big guys in Buemo, Cunha, because Yamia to my uncle for Romo, Cunha and Buemo say, Omu Benya di Muemrekakra. Inti, what you say?
Omunko Bonche,
Buemo Cunha.
Omu Monche.
And
Sesko. Well, but they lost.
Now Sesko, yeah, Oshishu, you saw best.
Can a highly possible so best.
Tibina from 3 no.
Yes. A highly possible.
United bit much and who could try to be trouble United 4.
For their nodding.
Hey, Sesko Buemo Cunha.
For their nodding. For their nodding.
Me Fulham dear, I mean the team of Mr. Omo on your Mokoba Mr. Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, the found with him out. Omo de Omo star, Omo de teams like a Bopa.
For their nodding.
Says I as a Levante no. Nebasa, another stubborn club.
Syria are not so. AC Milan. Has to be careful. I'm saying careful because South Fina Obo Cremonesia will be expected to be quite. But first matches of the season, the third Ayana are very dicey. Teams in the lower division, they can cause upset and surprise at any point in time. But AC Milan calling to Mukita players from Matoto. Samuel Ricky, Abba, Luka Modric, Ayayi Nimno, was squad anymore. So if you have this kind of quality, or Christian Pulisic, any possibly player a friend or a Santiago Jimenez, anybody they attacking because
Omontiman register Boniface into.
Yes. So what's your coach into so he sets up in the 3-5-2 system.
Okay. In
the 3-5-2, no the 3-back system. Now what tighten the defense? I'm a Honma strong. Now other departments, you know, I call with that kind of fluidity, any pace, any more. And they have to be careful. No more making sure. So we that win. No more a good start because coach, you know, almost feel say was almost getting back to the glory days. No more just Syria A Nibium, Eco Champions League. And until the mobile will be proven in winning the Syria A than a buyer. To just whenever one was settled well, no one good games they are my second.
Biggie. And so Ediano no